Welcome to lesson 4, and we're going to have a look at formatting the worksheet. So if you go into the Miss Moodle lesson 4, there is a personal budget 4 spreadsheet that you can open up, and it should look something like this. So what we're going to do in this particular lesson is go through and have a look at the tab called Home and the groups called Font, Alignment, and Numbers. So in these three groups, they have grouped together the most common features for fonts, alignment, and numbers that people tend to use when they're formatting. If you need to go into further options, at the bottom right corner of each of those groups is a format application launcher. It launches the dialog box, for formatting cells. And what you'll find in there is different tabs. So because I clicked on this particular format, it launched it with the format tab, but it's basically the same format cells dialog box that appears each time. So you see here that this is alignment, and alignment's here, and numbers is here. So if you don't have the font option here, or the alignment and so on, you can always go into the format cell launcher and open it up and get more details. So for example, you'll see here that here's the font and the size, and we've got font and we've got size. Basically it's duplicated. You've also got extra things like the font style, the colors, and underline. A lot of those are actually right here as well, but people may want to go in and do a little bit more. Things like strikeout or superscript, subscript, those are not in this list, but they're not used that often, so that's why they haven't put them into this particular font group. Alignment, which is giving us options here with centering the data vertically within inside the cell or horizontally within the cell, tabbing in the data, or even rotating the text within inside the cell. The merge and center, which is very handy. A lot of this can be found within inside of this particular tab, the alignment tab. Numbers, for example, again, this is a lot of this is duplicated. In this case, if you were to click on number, for example, a lot of this information is duplicated in here as well. So just to make sure that you understand that these tabs are all the data, all these options are inside of the format cell. Now to open up format cell, another way to do that is hold the control key down and press the number 1, and that'll also open up the format cells. But for most cases, you can get most of the format options directly from the ribbon here under the Home tab. So for example, we want to go in and take the personal budget and change the font. We can select font, pick a different font type and a size. Now there's an added feature here where we can scale up or scale down. We can change the font color, for example, and we can even change the background color. Although that doesn't look that great, but you get the idea. So moving over to alignment, we can take things like personal budget, we can highlight A1 to D1, and we can do things like we can merge and center that. We can take the column, the row height, for example, and expand that. Take the information inside here and actually adjust it within inside that cell. We can also tab it if we want to do something like that, and we can undo, and so on. Now when it comes to, okay, let's do the dates, or the months right here. So something like this, we may want to use the align right so that it's lined up over top of the data. And with the numbers, we may want to select all of our numbers. In fact, I'll grab all of them here, and I'm going to select comma. Now I've selected comma, but I really don't need the decimal places, so there's an option here for increasing or decreasing the decimal places. So I can click that twice to get rid of the 2 decimal places, or increase to bring them back. You can also go in and change the format style. So for example, let's say at the top of your worksheet you want those in dollars. You can select dollars and then decrease the decimals. At the bottom, you can also do the same thing. Select the last line, click on currency, or in this case it would be accounting, and we can decrease. You can also go back in and pick from a preset list of formats that are commonly used, currency and accounting, or just number, for example. Now there are several other different types in here, and you will have to go into the format cell launcher, and you'll see here under number there are all sorts of different styles, and how this works is if you just simply click on it, it'll give you a sample of what the number would look like. So currently I'm sitting on top of 4,250, so it shows what that's going to look like. Now you can also deselect if you want no comma separators, or if you want more decimal places. You have a lot of control. Also, you can also pick the color that you would like, if you'd like brackets for negatives, or if you want the negative sign or colors. Currency, same idea, except you've got a currency symbol in there, and you can select what type of currency symbol that you may want in this particular case. Accounting, which is a little more, doesn't have as many options except for the currency, and so on. So what you need to do is go through these and have a look at them and try them out and see what different types of number formats that you would like. Later we'll have a look at how to customize a currency format to meet your specific needs. Alright, we'll see you in the next video.